world. I have a little anecdote I want to share with you, and there's a reason for it which will become apparent during the course, so please bear with me. Many years ago, in a different life, in England, I was a sales manager for a wholesale distribution company, and I would do the logistics and make sure the deliveries were all taken care of and the customers were happy. As part of this, I would travel. I would be on the road for 4 days I would stay in hotels for 4 days per week. It's just the way it was. I had a nice expense account. A lot of mileage was covered from Aberdeen in the north down literally to John O'Groats in the other end, Land's End, in Cornwall. Anyway, point being, I had a stack of maps under my seat when I first started this, because you need to know where you're going and it's not easy to get there, and time is money. So this was in the days before iPhones, so physical paper print maps were the only way to go. I got to the stage where I could find my way from Aberdeen to John O'Groats without taking one of those maps out from under the seat. If I needed to go to any city, if a phone call came in, or I needed to divert, I could do that again without pulling a map from under the seat. And the reason I was able to do that was because I learned a lot of things during those years on the road, one of which was to be able to tell compass directions by the position of the sun. It's pretty straightforward, actually. You look at the time and you point the hour hand at the sun, and if it's in the morning, you would draw an imaginary line between, let's say, 9 AM, point the hour hand at the sun, that's noon. The line in between is that's north. Well, depends whether it's before or after lunch, because noon is a game changer. North becomes south, south becomes north at noon. So yeah. Anyway, it's really straightforward. So you point the hour hand, and then you look at noon, 12 o'clock, whether it's before or after, and split the difference, and that's your north or south. This has become very useful today, which is why I wanted to make this video. So now we're at the point. I'm driving around somewhere in Niagara. Right now I happen to be in Crystal Beach. And I know I was heading south. Because of so I've been doing this for over 20 years. I know north and south. If you can see the sun or just the glow behind the clouds, you know which direction you are, so you don't get lost. You need to go south, you go that way. Anyway, for some reason, and I can't even remember why now, I looked at my phone compass and it said I was heading north. That wasn't. So I thought, okay, maybe the compass app needs restarting or whatever. So I restarted it, it still said north. This is a little strange, thought I, so I looked at Google Maps, which, I have an iPhone, has a little cone by your position location icon, and it will tell you which direction the phone is pointing, which is really useful. I go hiking a lot. You can be in the middle of nowhere, and if you're surrounded by trees in the forest, then you kind of need to know north from south. If you go in the wrong direction, if it tells you it's north and it's actually south, you're going to know world of hurt. It's important. The cone said I was pointing north as well. And I was not pointing north, and I knew I was not pointing north. Basic physics doesn't change, regardless of technology or anything else. It's like I knew I was pointing south. So I fundamentally disagreed with my phone. So I had a quick look. I restarted this and I restarted that, and it didn't work, and I tried to calibrate it, which I've done in previous years, by doing a shake thing, and I'm just slowing down because we have joggers on both sides of the road and a car coming towards me, so I'll just pull over. And it wasn't working. I just couldn't get it restarted. So I turned off my location services, which is apparently one of the tips that's recommended, because TAC forces it to recalibrate. I mean, you think location services will say where you are, which is fine, I am here. But apparently it also ties into the compass setting on your phone. So it will not only tell you where you are, it will tell you which direction you're pointing. Now that's of no interest to most people because they're at home or whatever and they know where they are. If, however, you are in a new place or unsure where you exactly are, or you just need help finding your way back, you need it to be accurate. As in my case, it was telling me I was pointing north, and there's no way in hell I was pointing north, and I knew it. I'm in familiar territory. I can't even remember why I opened the compass app. Possibly because I thought, hey, I haven't calibrated this in a while. I can't remember. Maybe. Anyway. The phone was wrong. Let me say that again. The phone was wrong. We live our lives on a little piece of glass in our hand, whether it's an Android or an Apple or whatever. It tells us what to do, and we do it without question. Because it is reliable and we can trust it. That doesn't mean it's always right. Your compass, at least in the case of iPhones, I know iPhones because I've had an iPhone for a long time, can get out of whack. Well, if you drop them or, give it a bump or whatever, it can flip things around. North becomes south, east becomes west. And if you go into Google Maps and you're using that for directions, you're literally driving away from where you want to go because it says you want to be this way. The directions are right. It says, turn left in 50 feet or 200 meters or whatever, depending on your system of measurement. But that little cone, it tells you're facing this way, is lying to you. No, that's not true. It's wrong. Doesn't mean it's lying to you. Lying implies and requires intent. There's no intent to deceive. It's just wrong. And that can literally be a lifesaver. In my case this morning, it wasn't, because I'm like, you're lying to me. I'll tell you again, you're wrong. This is south, not north. And I pulled over and I spent 10-15 minutes yelling at my phone to stop being wrong. And eventually I got it working by toggling location services on and off. You need to let it stay off for, let's say, 30 seconds. That forces it to recalibrate correctly when you turn it back on. If you just turn it off and back on, I found it didn't work. I've got an older chipmunk. I got a I got an older iPhone, so I mean, it's been around the block, been beat up and hammered a few times. So it's quite possible that the physical hardware is starting to degrade. I could use an upgrade, but I don't need one. This is a minor thing. I mean, old enough and ugly enough to know where I'm going most of the time. But I can see how it would really screw people over. So I wanted to make this video, and I'm repeating myself now. It's really important that you don't just automatically take what you're told as gospel truth by your phone, because it could be wrong. It's not intentionally lying to you. It doesn't want you to end up in a lake. But just because it says you're heading north doesn't mean you're heading south. North. You could be heading south. Check. Trust but verify is the mantra that you use in the security circles in which I move. Yeah. It's like AI. Trust but verify. Is that really this person that you think it is? Why does this person have 6 fingers? AI is particularly bad at doing fingers at this time. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. Rambled on long enough. I'm going to stop talking now. Thank you for your time and your patience. I hope this might prove of some use to some people. We don't know. Oh, sheeps. Cute. I'm going to keep driving. I'm going to look for someone to somewhere to send up the drone. That is interesting, legal, and I can be bothered. The hard part is to figure out what's behind a tree or a wall of trees, and will it be interesting enough. Otherwise you're stopping every 50 feet, and you don't want to be doing that. Anyway, enough, I'm off. Thank you for your time. You have a wonderful day. And I hope you will, now that you're driving in the right direction. Bye for now.